I just kind of wanted to respond to the Larry Krugers. He's on a campaign that Trey is getting traded.
Hey, real
And
quick with Larry, I respect it. That's one hell of a prediction to put yourself out there on. We'll see what happens. I happen to disagree, but he makes a compelling case. I just feel like why if Brock Purdy hadn't torn his UCL, I could see it. The way they talk about him, I think they not that I would, I think they would. But he did tear his UCL. They don't know when he's coming back. If you trade Trey Lance, all you got as your quarterback is Sam Darnold, who doesn't even know the offense. How do you call yourself a win now team? And that's the only quarterback who's healthy on your roster, like until God knows when. I don't think they can really trade Trey, even if they wanted to. First of all, I don't think they can do it until Brock comes back. Second of all, I don't think they get much for Trey Lance in a trade right now. That's the other thing. You're not going to get a first-round pick, a second-round pick. You might get a third-round pick because he was always drafted based off potential and hype. He didn't do much in college. Now, it's been 3 years since he's played. I feel like a lot of that potential and hype isn't there anymore, and people are saying, man, this guy is just a guy without a resume. So that doesn't mean he won't work out. It just means that I don't know what his value is in a trade. So why would you just trade him for nothing? Take the PR hit, show everyone how incompetent you are, and just say, "Oh well, haha." I don't think they're
yeah,
going to do it.
and the whole thing, the whole crux of the matter is Larry is pushing for trading during the draft. We take like a $11 million cap hit if we trade him before June 1st. If I'm not
Yeah, it
mistaken,
doesn't even help the team financially. I don't
and
think it
then
helps the team.
yeah,
They need quarterbacks, plural.
I don't know.
And I think he's probably better than Sam Darnold, if we're being honest, man. Sam Darnold, are we kidding here? Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold.
that's see,
That guy has started 50 plus starts
yeah,
games in his career, man. He
but
is a head case.
yeah, I get it. But the thing about Trey Lance right now is everything that I can agree on Larry about is it don't seem like they like Trey. It's like the teammates don't really haven't really come to their defense, really spoke highly of him, really. The whole Joe Montana thing during the 2021 Super Bowl, that's a thing because his information came from talking during the players during that week.
But I feel like that it speaks poorly of the team because Trey Lance hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't been arrested. He hasn't complained. He hasn't been, unprepared. He's had some, stretches where he looked inexperienced, but he also had some stretches where he looked extremely talented. I mean, he's done everything he's supposed to do. He's only started 4 games and they're moving on. Like, they should feel bad and they should express some of that. Like, you know what? Trey's done everything right. And, we haven't necessarily done right by Trey. And it doesn't mean that we're just going to hand him a job. He's got to have to earn it. But at the same time, we are very aware of the fact that we've set his career back. We did it. And we don't want to be the organization that does that to young players. So they should say stuff like that as opposed to, Trey needs to prove that he can stay healthy. What?
And so, yeah,
Pardon?
I'm just
Say that in my good ear? Huh?
yeah,
Huh?
trying to
What?
figure out where they come up with where he's not able to play, and the only thing we can say is stuff behind the scenes and practices that make them not believe in him from an outside
Fair.
observer.
That's
We've only
got to be
seen
it, right? It's
4
something in
games.
practice. But at the same time, their ability to judge quarterbacks in practice they didn't realize Brock Purdy was good until he went in the game. They knew he was good enough to stay on the team, but they didn't know he was better than Jimmy Garoppolo until they actually went into the game because games are different than practice. Like, a lot of what a quarterback has to do in a game is avoid the pass rush. You know what I'm saying? And that's something you can't demonstrate in practice at all. There is no pass rush. So you got to see it. And these guys, they're making projections based on practice. They suck at that. That's hard to do. Let him play a freaking game. Let him play 3 games in a row, Trey Lance, and see what happens. Let him play
Yeah,
quarterback.
I've never seen a top 5 pick at quarterback only get 4 games and then have the
They're treating
organization.
him like he's like a late
I've
1, early
never
2.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it, and so that's what kind of just leaves me confused
He's going to get
about.
his shot, though. It's not like he's Paxton Lynch, where if, 4 starts one team and then you're out of the league. Like, if the Niners move on, I don't know what he's worth in a trade, but some team will take him in as a project and see what they can do. I think a smart team would be looking at Trey Lance right now. It's like, man, you could get this. You could get a 22-year-old former third pick in the draft for nothing because that team doesn't know what to do with him. And maybe they broke him. Maybe physically and mentally he's broken. Or maybe not. Maybe we can give him a year, pump him up with some confidence, and let him play. I don't know. See what could happen. But that's what I think a smart team would do.
I
Get
just
Trey.
don't think, yeah, because I don't know if the owner is really going to be on board with just getting rid of them, and we've only seen 4 games. It's just the whole trade situation where I get the premise of it, but from Larry, I get the premise, but
But
the
if you
execution
trade
of it
Trey,
all, I just don't. I just can't see it.
if you trade Trey before you know what Brock Purdy looks like after he comes back from this injury, what if Brock's not the same? And you traded him thinking you had something in Brock, but Brock 2.0 is different. Like he legitimately has a noodle arm now, and he doesn't have some of the confidence he had back before the injury. Like what if he? And you're like, damn. Well, we were because that's essentially what happened with Jimmy. Jimmy was never the same quarterback after that ACL injury, and the Niners were already committed to him. And it was like, well, oops, that's not the quarterback we thought we were getting. Too bad. Maybe I'm telling you, man. I understand. I just disagree with Larry. I think they have to hold on to Trey until Brock comes back and starts playing exactly at that level he played at last year. Until that happens, I don't see how you trade Trey. It could be such a bad move.
Yeah.